Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making 4 cards using the Catherine Puller stamp set called Peking Pets. Aren't they just adorable? You've got a boxer, a cat, a dachshund, um, Jack Russell Terrier, I think that one's called. Looks like a lab, another cat, and sort of like a Pomeranian. So really cute animals. And hats. So there's a Santa hat, a graduation hat, there's a top hat, party hat, and some other cute hats, as well as a paw print, which I forgot to use, but next time I will. So I'm ink blending with Catherine Puller inks. The colors I have are Flirty, Fuchsia, All That Jazz, and Aquatini. I'm making this card as a birthday card for a very special young girl who will be turning 8, and she is hoping to get a new dog for her birthday. So I thought, wow, this would be so cool, and hopefully she will get a dog. But if she doesn't, I'm sure she'll still like the card because it's got some really cute dogs peeking. And what I'm going to do is pull up the washi tape that I laid down, and I have a column then of ink blended, a graduated ombre, and it starts with the purple, then the mid-tone is blue, and the bottom is sort of like that teal. But I noticed that I got a little bit of ink on the part of the panel that I didn't want to have ink on. So I'm going in again with another panel, and I'm using Bristol Smooth cardstock, by the way. I'm using thicker tape this time to avoid the possibility, hopefully avoid the possibility of getting ink where I don't want ink. And I'm believing I'm using the same inks again. I'm going to slow down. Yes, Flirty, Fuchsia. This way in slow motion I can see better, and you can too. Yep, All That Jazz and Aquatini. So these are like my favorite Catherine Puller ink colors. I love all of the Catherine Puller inks. They're amazing. They're a dye-based ink. They dry really fast. They blend like a dream. And you can get them in minis, most of the colors, or you can get full size. And I got the minis, and I love them so much. I wish I would have got the full size. But I have the minis. In the future, if more inks come out, I'll probably go with full size sets. And I always get the refills because you see how juicy my ink pads are. That makes for blending with ease and stamping too, but definitely blending. So I have a little bit of ink on my panel where I didn't want it to go, but that's okay. I'm just going to grab my Mono Sand Eraser, which is a eraser that is very rough, and it kind of acts like an exfoliator for your paper. So just as a pumice stone would exfoliate your feet, the Mono Sand Eraser can exfoliate parts of your paper. So I just gently rubbed it. You don't want to rub too hard because you don't want to put a hole in your paper, but I just gently rubbed it, and as a result, I was able to get most of that ink off. So that's fine. I'm just trying to decide which cute little critters to put on the card, and I settled with the boxer. Not the boxer, I think it's called a Jack Russell. Sorry guys, I'm not really sure. I think it's called Jack Russell. I don't know, it's really cute. And then I have in the middle sort of like the Pomeranian, and on the end I have the Chihuahua. I just can't remember what this first one's called, but it's so cute. I'm using VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. I also really like Catherine Puller Midnight Archival ink, which is a great ink, but it does tend to stain photopolymer stamps. And so just because of that, I just decided to use the VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. But for their hats, I'm going to use Catherine Puller inks. So we've got Grape Crush. I love purple, so this is one of the other colors that I love. That dog in the middle has a unicorn horn on his head. And then I went in with Aquatini and did the party hat. It looks a little light. And then the last one, wait a minute, which one is that color? That's the aquatini. The other color of the party hat is um, Fiesta Blue. That's what it is. See, I'm starting to really know the names and the tones of these ink colors. So at first I grabbed my Corinne markers and I was going to watercolor the hat. But then I thought, wait a minute, these inks are watercolors too. You can grab yourself a watercolor brush and put a little bit of ink on a acrylic block and use a little bit of water, and you can watercolor with the Catherine Pooler ink. So that's what I'm going to do here. I grabbed that uh, Flirty Fuchsia, and I'm using that to color in the hat of the cute little doggy, the little party hat. He's so excited to be going to be sent in the mail to the special young lady who will be turning 8. So exciting for her. And then the little antenna that the little dog has on, I colored that in. There's a little spot that you can color in where the heart is. And then the grape crush for the unicorn horn, just because it didn't stamp quite as dark as I would like it to. But, you know, it's wonderful inks, and this is such a fun card. I hope you also think it's fun, and it's so easy to do. Now I'm just grabbing another piece of this is just regular 80-pound cardstock, and I'm just simply taking my blending brushes and blending a bunch of colors. So I've got Grape Crush, Flirty Fuchsia, I've got Fiesta Blue, um, all that jazz, and aquatini. I think that is just a beautiful color palette. Those colors together, I think, really go well together. Of course, I love purple, so, I mean, I'm going to definitely use that. Okay, so this is all that jazz, and I'm blending, going over, just using the same, blending brush. I have a purple blending brush for the purples and a blue for the blues. And then aquatini is more of a green, but it doesn't matter. I'm blending it all together and making this beautiful panel, which is going to serve as my matte background for my card panel. And this ink, I never let it go to waste. I'm going to go ahead and smush a piece of paper. This is just a regular 80-pound piece of paper. And I cleaned it up right off that mat using just water and a piece of paper. So that was really cool. And I actually ended up using that panel to make a card. Next, I'm going to do some die cutting. And I want to show you a panel that I previously ink blended side by side with the new one that I ink blended. And we've got this awesome Celebrate word die. It's from Catherine Pooler. And it's just perfect. It's this beautiful scripty font. It cuts like a dream. It just falls right out of the die cut, just like butter. I love Catherine Pooler's dies. I think they're the best that are out there. And I'm slowly growing my collection. Okay, I'm going to trim down this card panel so that I can allow some of that beautiful matte in the background to show. While I'm trimming and sizing things up, I wanted to let you know that I recently was approved to have an affiliate link with Catherine Pooler. So I wanted to let you know that if you look in my description box below my video, there will be a link to Catherine Pooler, and I will have this Peking Pets stamp set linked, as well as the Celebrate die and a couple other products that I'm using today, such as the inks. And if you do decide that that's something that you want to get, which I would highly recommend getting these things because they are just very universal. Like this Peking Pets stamp set has so many different uses. You can have them peeking out of a cup, peeking out of a swimming pool, out of a bathtub. I mean, there's so many different things you can do with this stamp set. But anyways, as an affiliate, I would if you use my link below, I would receive a commission on the sale of your items. That would come back to me, and I would use it to then buy more items that I can demonstrate and share as giveaways from Catherine Pooler. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm flicking ink, the same colors that I was using before, and then I have a little acrylic block, I have a little bit of water, and a watercolor brush, and I'm just flicking the water off of the block directly onto this panel. You remember, this is the panel that I originally created, and it had a little bit of ink in a spot that I didn't want it to. And then I'm taking the block after I am done flicking, and I'm smashing it onto an extra piece of paper. So I'm actually going to make a card out of that as well. Okay, so you can see I get a lot of use out of a lot of different parts of this process, and I would encourage you to consider the same thing. So here's the piece that I blended, and then I cut out the word celebrate twice. Well, now I have a stencil, so I used it as a stencil, and then I'm going to paper piece the little bits that fell out of the die that would go into the word celebrate. You can also just color it in. You don't have to piece it in. So here I am with one of my Korean markers, and I'm just making little oval shapes in the little sections. Also, I have some Mission Sequins mix from Catherine Pooler, and so the card that says celebrate that was sort of stenciled, that's going to have some sequins on it too. And I'm just kind of looking through the sequins and deciding which ones that I want to use. I'll glue those on later off camera, just for the sake of time. But I'm kind of getting an idea right now of where I'd like to position them on the card panel. So I think things are coming together quite nicely. I have the main card that I made. I have the ink smushed card. Remember when I had the mat and I sprayed water on the mat? I was able to smush a panel. I have the ink flicking card panel, and then I have sort of like the grungy cleaning off my acrylic block panel. So just in this process alone, I was able to create 4 different panels. I don't know if you just caught what I did, but I used that matte panel. I took the Celebrate die and I cut through the middle of that matte panel with the Celebrate die so that I got another Celebrate word out of the process. And here I'm showing you each card, and now I'm going to show you some still photos of each card. I just want to say thanks so much for watching my video today. I hope you enjoyed creating with me. If you're not a subscriber, I would love it if you could subscribe and ring the bell so that you're notified of my future videos, and you will be notified as to when I'm going to be having my next giveaway. I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers, so once I get there, I'll definitely be giving away a lot of goodies. Thanks for watching and have a hopeful day. Bye-bye.